My name is Tony. Last summer, my best friend Mason and I took a trip to Australia. We were both from Oregon and had always dreamed of going on a real camping adventure somewhere far away. We planned to spend a week in the Australian bush, far from any town, just us, a rented 4x4, and a couple of tents. We landed in Brisbane, bought some supplies, and drove for hours into the outback. It was dry, quiet, and endless. We found a place near a dry riverbed surrounded by gum trees and tall grass. There were no other people around, and no cell signal either. "This is perfect," Mason said, setting up his tent. I agreed. It felt wild and peaceful. But that feeling didn't last long. That night, we sat by the fire, eating beans from a can and joking about all the spiders and snakes we hadn't seen yet. The stars were bright, and the night was quiet, too quiet. No wind, no insects, not even the hoot of an owl. Just silence. We went to bed around 10 p.m. I woke up in the middle of the night to a sound. It was soft, like dry leaves being crushed underfoot. At first, I thought it was Mason going to pee, but when I whispered his name, I heard him answer from inside his tent. "You hear that too?" he whispered. "Yeah," I said, my voice barely a breath. We both stayed quiet. The steps came closer, then stopped. I held my breath. After what felt like forever, the sounds moved away. In the morning, I checked around our tents. About 10 feet from mine, I saw shoe prints. Not boot prints like ours. These were narrow, like someone wearing worn sneakers. I looked at Mason. "You walked over here last night?" He shook his head. "No. I thought it was you." We didn't talk much after that. We just packed our gear and went for a long hike, trying to distract ourselves. By evening, we convinced ourselves it was probably a ranger or a hiker. Still, I slept with a flashlight and a pocket knife in my sleeping bag. The second night, it was cooler. We built a bigger fire and talked louder, as if that could keep fear away. Mason kept checking over his shoulder. I did too. Around midnight, I heard whispering. At first, I thought it was the wind. But the sound was too clear. It was voices, low and fast. I couldn't understand the words. It was like someone arguing in the dark. "Mason," I whispered. "Do you hear that?" He sat up fast. "Yeah, it's coming from behind the trees." We both stood up. The fire was low now, just glowing coals. We listened hard. The whispers kept coming, closer now. "Let's go," Mason said. We grabbed what we could. I stuffed my sleeping bag, flashlight, and a bottle of water into my pack. Mason took his boots, jacket, and a little food. We left the tents and fire pit behind and started walking fast toward the 4x4. We didn't talk. We didn't look back. Then we heard them, footsteps, running from behind us. I yelled, "Run!" We took off. The night was pitch black. We stumbled over rocks and branches, breathing hard, our hearts pounding. Something was behind us. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it, like cold eyes watching, following. We ran for what felt like an hour. Our legs burned. My lungs hurt. We didn't stop until we saw the truck. It was parked under a big dead tree, dust covering the windows. We jumped in, locked the doors, and sat still, panting. "I don't know what that was," Mason said between breaths, "but it wasn't normal." I nodded. My hands were shaking. "Do we leave?" I asked. He looked at the fuel gauge. "We've only got a quarter tank. The nearest gas station is hours away." We decided to wait until sunrise. We left the doors locked and tried to sleep sitting up. I kept jerking awake at every sound. Once, I thought I saw something move near the trees. A shadow. Tall and thin. When the sun came up, it was like we could breathe again. The whispering was gone. The woods looked normal, like nothing had happened. We got out, checked the truck, and walked back to camp to grab whatever we left behind. Our tents were slashed open. Claw marks were cut deep into the canvas, like something had ripped through with long nails. Our food was scattered. My backpack was open, and my clothes were gone. Mason found a footprint in the ashes of the fire. It was huge, twice the size of mine, and barefoot. We looked at each other and didn't say a word. We packed what was left and got in the truck. We didn't care about the fuel. We just wanted out. Mason drove while I kept watch. The road was rough and winding. Dust flew up behind us. Every bump made my stomach jump. We hadn't seen another car in days. No people. No animals. Just dry trees and empty space. About an hour into the drive, we saw something in the road. It was a figure. Tall. Skinny. It stood still in the middle of the path. I couldn't make out a face. Just long arms and a pale chest. Mason slammed the brakes. "Go around it," I shouted. He hit the gas and drove off the road, around the thing, and back onto the track. I looked back, and it was still standing there, watching us. Not long after that, the truck started to make a strange sound. A loud clicking under the hood. Mason cursed. "We're overheating." The engine cut out a few minutes later. We were stuck. I felt sick. We were in the middle of nowhere. No phone signal. And something out there wanted us gone, or worse. "We need to walk," I said. "Find help." Mason agreed, but we couldn't decide which way to go. We didn't know how far the next town was. "We stick to the road," he said. "Someone will come." We grabbed water, our knives, and started walking. We walked until dark. The sun set fast, and the shadows came crawling out again. We didn't light a fire. We just sat under a tree, too tired to move, too scared to sleep. Then came the whispering. Closer this time. All around us. I gripped my knife. Mason held a heavy branch. The sounds moved through the trees. Fast, like more than one person. Then we saw the eyes. Dozens of them, glowing faintly. Watching. Something stepped into view. It was the figure again. It stepped toward us. We ran again. Into the dark, into the bush, not knowing where we were going. Branches cut our arms and faces. We kept running. Behind us, something growled. Low and deep. Not human. I turned my head and saw it running after us, fast and quiet, like it was floating. Mason tripped and screamed. I grabbed him, pulled him up, and we didn't stop. Somehow, by morning, we made it back to the main dirt road. A truck passed by and stopped when it saw us. A local man stepped out and asked if we were okay. We looked like hell, bloody, dirty, and wild-eyed. "We need to get out," Mason said. The man drove us to the nearest town, about 50 miles away. We didn't tell him everything. Just that someone had messed with our camp and chased us out. He nodded slowly. "Shouldn't be out there alone," he said. "Not in those parts." "What do you mean?" I asked. He looked at the road ahead. Old stories, he said. Things that walk at night. Not animals. Not people either. Just things that live in the dark. We never went back for our stuff. It's been a year since that trip. I still dream about the prints in the dirt and the slashed tents. Sometimes I wake up and swear I hear footsteps outside my window. We both know something is out there.